back to Morning Joe. Joining us now, the editor-in-chief of More Magazine, Lesley Jane Seymour, who's here to give us just a few of the names on More Magazine's list of top noisemakers in 2010. Lesley, welcome back to the show. It's good to have you.
Good.
All right, first of all, what is a noisemaker?
A noisemaker, well, it's a woman who doesn't shut up and somehow goes out there and raises an issue that's important to us. For good or for bad, we say we don't always agree with how they do it, but, you know, women have a hard time speaking up sometimes and will often take a back seat. These women don't.
Okay, I'm going to wild guess at who's at the top of the list. Anyone want to take a guess here at the table? Mr. Brokaw, top of the list.
I don't think it's the head of the convent in East Haddam, Connecticut.
No. How about Barnacle?
Sarah Palin.
There you go. What a good guesser. You get an A. Yes, Sarah Palin. Absolutely. For, you know, all the great things she did this year, from, you know, resigning her office to, you know, putting her weight behind the 26 people in the summer primaries and actually having them win, to picking up the term Mama Grizzly, and we know refudiate was just picked up by the Oxford American Dictionary as word of the year.
That's a noisemaker.
Does she qualify under your criteria as good noise or bad noise?
Yeah. Well, we're not qualifying good or bad.
Okay.
We're saying that in any way that she's raised women's voices, you know, men speak all the time, and some are good and some are bad. We're not going to judge.
Okay,
Well, who else
like
is,
that.
Who else is on your list?
Well,
Let's
we
see.
have, do you want to go,
Second
Mika?
down, yeah, we've got
Jan Brewer.
Like this.
Jan
Governor of
Brewer.
Arizona.
And what her whole point is we don't necessarily agree with what she did, but what she did overall is she raised anti-immigration to a national discussion. And, of course, she was sued by the Obama administration. Part of it is unconstitutional. But look, you've got 5 other states that went for the same kind of legislation, and then you've got 17 more that are considering it. So she has raised the issue out there.
A noisemaker maybe by mistake. Shirley Sherrod.
Shirley Sherrod for, you know, talking about the media's rush to judgment. I mean, it's something that goes on in the internet all the time now. And there was a clip taken out of a speech she was giving that was actually about racial harmony. It went out, it got all over Fox News. Everybody was talking about it. She got fired from her job. She was trying to tell people that they needed to look at the whole speech. They didn't. When they did, of course, they found out she was telling the truth, and they tried to rehire her. President Obama called her, and it was too late. And she said, no, I don't want that job back, because what I'm after is the truth.
And it wasn't just the media rush to judgment, the White House rushed to judgment.
Yes,
fired
everybody.
her before, so she was speaking out against
Everybody.
I like this one, Catherine Bigelow winning the Oscar.
Catherine Bigelow, 82 years of the Oscars without a woman winning for, you know, Best Director. Can you believe it? And she won with this small movie, Hurt Locker, which was, you know, small and underfunded, against her ex-husband, who's apparently still a friend, James Cameron, who was doing Avatar with millions and millions of dollars put behind him. So this is great.
That was a great moment at the Oscars, beating the ex-husband in that big
Yeah, that was the second part of it. You know, winning was first, and then beating the ex-husband.
Right,
I love this next one.
Great one. What a year for Betty White.
Betty White, the oldest Saturday Night Live guest ever, 88 years old.
Wow, is she really?
And people are
She's
saying,
awesome.
what a great comeback, but she really isn't having a comeback. As she said to us, I've been around this whole time. I haven't gone anywhere. You guys have just noticed us. She has a pinup calendar, and she also has a 2-part book deal, and she has Hot in Cleveland as her TV
Seriously.
show.
Who was on the panel?
What gets better than that?
Pick these people.
This is us, editorial
There it
panel.
is.
Just like you guys, what
It's
you
like
guys
North
do.
Korea.
They do what they want.
North Korea, exactly. We get to decide. But these are women who we feel are making a difference and are, you know, raising the volume of different conversations out there. I mean, again, as you know, women tend to hide in the background and don't speak up enough. So
I don't agree with that.
No, you don't?
No, I don't, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Nancy Brinker and the Coleman Race for the Cure.
Yes, I
There
love
has
Nancy.
never been a movement
That's true.
that I have been witness to that took hold like it did this year.
Yes.
You had the toughest guys in the NFL wearing pink booties
Yes, she's
as a
good.
sign of solidarity with her. I mean, it was a phenomenal, and she's been at it for a while now, but it went to critical mass this year in a way.
Nancy's a steel magnolia.
Yeah.
And there are not a lot of, I mean, there are some steel magnolias out there. I love Nancy. I've run around the pyramids in Egypt with her.
Yeah.
And, but she's a tough nut. Not every woman's like that.
There are a number of them, though. I mean, I've thought about social movements that have had a big impact on life in America in the last 20 years or so. One of the most underrated, in my judgment, are Mothers Against Drunk Driving. They changed the culture in this country.
I agree.
Profoundly. They cut way down on alcohol-related crashes and deaths.
Yep.
They changed the way the police enforce DWIs, and they changed the way the bars do business. Those were women who got together. They do a much better job than men do. You don't have anything comparable to the Komen race for the cure going on with prostate cancer, for example.
True.
It's less than the sum of its parts.
But I think, Lesley,
not that many. I would say in terms of quantity, I agree with you totally, and we'll have to make you one of our noisemakers for women.
There we go.
You're on our next year.
Listen, I live in a family of all women.
You've been well trained.
Before Sarah Palin talked about Mama Grizzlies, I was living with
the Mama Grizzlies?
Well, the Grizzlies are not at the top of the food chain. Wolves are. I lived with a family of Mama Wolves. And
you've been well trained. We love you. That's great.
They were people who roamed the landscape and made a big impact on it. All of the women in my family. So it's been one of the most instructive experiences of my life. I grew up in a family of one mother and 4 guys, and mother more than held her own, and then have this family with a strong wife and 3 exceptionally strong daughters as well.
Well, we're bringing you on to this. He's at the top of the list next year. We're going to give you an emeritus.
Special dispensation for Mr. Brokaw. Lesley Jane Seymour, thank you very much. You can catch the full list of 2010's top noisemakers in the latest issue of More magazine. Up next, what good is Wall Street? Our next guest, the New Yorker's John